issues with the clutch, as you guys saw in the last video. And now we're back with a brand new action clutch setup, and I'm really excited to test out. This will be the official test because we got rained out in true Florida fashion and could not test the compound before coming here, but I'm super stoked to get out on track. We're pitting with Grant, and it's gonna be a good weekend. About to take the Corvette out for the very first time since putting our brand new action clutch twin disc in the car. I'm super stoked. Love that, right? Luckily, the car held on to the belt somehow. Somehow they were just right there waiting for us. Alright, we are all good. Donnie put on brand new belts, and we still have the other ones because the car saved them. But we put on new ones just to be safe. We are back in action, baby. Well, I'm super pumped, and I was heading out on track, and I noticed my display start flickering. So I was like, okay, hold up, something's weird. And then I just decided to pull over to the side right where you enter the track to just recycle the car, see if everything's good. Sure enough, when I go turn ignition on, fuel on, when I try and start the car again, it won't start. That just shuts off the display again. Sounds like there's just not enough power to even start the car. Oh no. Oh no. Started thinking more and putting the pieces together, and the alternator could have been going out this entire time.
Alternator. It's probably the alternator.
And the alternator going out could have caused the belt to tension and fling off initially. Now we're seeing the symptoms of like an alternator being completely bad. That's my hypothesis. We haven't tested it yet. I'm still over here stranded on the side of the track trying to get in. So if the alternator is bad, I literally have to spare everything else. I don't think I have a spare alternator, which means we're probably gonna be figuring it out the rest of the day before qualifying, and I'm gonna have to go straight into qualifying with 3 laps again. I don't know what it is. This track hasn't done me good. Man, that sucks. I was just starting to feel so good in the Corvette, just 3 laps in. We're gonna go confirm that it is the alternator, and then start hunting one down. So next event, we're just gonna bring a spare car. You know, I think that's what this track has done to me. Getting towed. Man. What you got there, Donnie?
You got a Corvette alternator.
Shout out, thank you, Dirk.
Dirk Stratton.
Dang.
You gotta go to the Corvette boys for the Corvette parts.
You know, I keep telling myself, one of these days, everything's gonna go so smoothly. And even though I've had this car for a long time, I still haven't put that many laps on it since it's been fully rebuilt. So I'm reminding myself that now. We're just continuing to find all the weak points, and eventually she'll be sorted. On the plus side, I'm going to Wawa to get food, and this is actually going to be my first maiden voyage with good old Ruby. You know, we need another look to appreciate this ridge. Also, her official name is Ruby the Rig. I love it. Okay, now we go to Wawa. Well, she's all ready to go, baby. That's what we want. So much better. Good car now. The car is together in time for qualifying. I'm gonna take my 4 laps, try and remember as much as I can, and just do my best in qualifying. At least we have 2 laps, so that does help. I'm basically gonna use this as just 2 additional practice laps. Just do the best job that I can. One of these days, I won't feel like this going to qualifying, but it's not today, so just gonna send it. Josiah's about to go, and then we're next.
Sorry? It's 85.
In the high roller class. That run felt really good. It just also felt super sketchy because the car was so loose. So I'm super happy with an 86, but I'm out here in the high roller class with a bunch of awesome drivers. So going into my second qualifying, I'm going to air down quite a bit. I was focusing so hard on improving the last part of the track that I ended up just being a little too twitchy on the first half of the track, and I don't think that was going to beat my last score. But throttle commitment was a lot better, and that's something I was trying to focus on, push myself to do in the second qualifying, since I already had qualifying 1 do it really, really well. So I don't know what my score is yet, but in general, for the limited amount of laps that I've had here, I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable in this car, and that's all I wanted. Alright, it is day 2. It is officially comp day. Now yesterday, some of the scores and things got moved around, and my bracket placement is so bad. It's literally the 1-2 podium from the last round of the Gambler, which is Josiah first, and then if I make it through him, I got Dirk Stratton. So definitely not an easy side of the bracket, but the one good thing is I know with both of them, I can be right on them. They're gonna be in the right places at the right time. It makes you able to be a lot more confident as the chase driver. So I got a lot of work cut out for me today, but I'm really excited that we have 2 hours of practice where I can really finally get more seat time in the C6 Corvette and get more and more comfortable as we continue to add grip into the car. can only stay positive for so long. After one lap, when we got the car, all the guys that hustled got me out there with a half an hour of practice left. And after one lap, we had the same issue again. I did the chase run with Josiah just so that I can have another lap of chase under my belt. That'll be 2 total before going into battles. And I was at 11.6 and dropping per voltage. So I brought it in after that, and sure enough, killing the alternators, even with the resistor, which is just a light bulb wired in there now, it's still just eating through them. If anything, it's worse now. We don't have any more practice left and running out of options, so I think we're gonna take the truck battery, ratchet strap it in the back, and cross our fingers and just go for it in battles. I mean, it's already gonna be a tough battle with Josiah, but our cars were way more evenly matched than I expected. He's just a little tricky to follow because he has a perfect line, which is great for me to know and chase, but he puts on massive angle everywhere, so sometimes that can actually be harder to follow somebody if your car is more dripped up or if you're not used to that super extra super wide line. So yeah, we're just gonna do what we can do, run with basically no officially working alternator and have more batteries strapped in the back and just go for it. Sucks because the car is feeling so good. I think my leads the last 2 times I've been out there have felt just so good. I'm finally like starting to get in tune with this thing, and once we work out all these little things, it'll come together. I keep having to remind myself that I really don't have a lot of run time on the car, and we're still shaking it down, finding all the weak points. So we just gotta push through it. And luckily for me, we have another event here in like 2 weeks for the 50K. So really everything we're doing now will be super beneficial. Good old Ruby the Raid is gonna be donating her battery. I'm sorry, girl. Gotta take one for the team. Grant pointed this out earlier about the TikTok where it just says it's the alternator.
It's probably the alternator.
So that's been playing in my head since yesterday. That sound is like my life right now. This entire weekend.
Must be the alternator. That's Colleen, the alternator assassin. That's your new nickname.
I like that.
Want some zip ties or some tape to just cover the connections? Zip tie this so it doesn't fly around. Just don't want it shorting on the thing.
Alternator. It's probably the alternator.
Look, we have an amazing surprise. Thank you for dropping by some, what type of food?
It's called pupusas. It's Salvadorian food.
And how do you eat it? And you brought horchata too. This is so good. What are you supposed to do?
All right, so
Check that
usually Salvadorian people, they're like, oh, you're not supposed to eat it with forks. We usually do it by hand, right? Because that's
Okay.
their custom to do it. So you put that on top, and we call it curtido. So and after that, you put the tomato sauce. You eat it like a quesadilla.
Oh, I'm so excited.
The one you grab, I think, called revueltas.
This is gonna be messy.
Oh, that looks so yummy. You know, this is just what we needed. We're having a rough day, so thank you. Adam is here. He came in just for today, and he was already immediately out on our parts run looking for another alternator in the area. We found one. Now we also needed some wiring stuff. Talk a little bit more about what the issue was between yesterday and today. Basically, a resistor wasn't wired into the wiring up to the alternator, and it just kept killing them. Now we figured that out. Adam came in with the goods. He got a brand new alternator. And were you wiring while driving the car? Pre-wiring this, so hopefully I can get out for at least another 20 minutes of practice, which would be amazing.
Alternator. It's probably the
Hey, we're back, but it's also a new one, so hopefully we stay back. Basically, at least with the 2 most recent ones that were put on here, they were stock ones instead of the DC power one. And I guess the stock ones are wired differently, so that could have been why it killed it. And then before, the reason why the DC one got killed was because it didn't have a resistor in it. But now we have the resistor, and then we have our stock ones wired correctly. Hopefully, the combination of all that means that this baby can last.
This is the one time you have permission to scuff up my front wheels.
All right, you on camera, recorded.
Because you know how to repowder coat them.
Wow.
Alright, we're good.
We're good. Thank you. Alright, well, it's time. We're lining up for battles and just gonna see what happens. I'm going up against Josiah, first round out. Alright, Canada, let's go.
Corvette. Josiah entering super early, pouring on a ton of angle, allowing Collette to reel him in, kind of getting a little bit off course there and getting lost in the smoke. We cannot see the second driver, but there we go. A great save as we come down the hill to outer zone number 3. Both of these machines are absolutely pouring smoke. Josiah is moving through that center section, coming into outer zone number 4, doing a great job of filling that as well as we slow up to outer zone number 5 of the hairpin. And unfortunately, Collette goes a little bit wide, but again, great save there. She transitions over that reference point and up into the bank turn of outer zone number 6. Man, that was a fast run. That was a very smoky lead as well.
Kudos to Collette for navigating this entire course basically blind. But it really showed when she popped out of the smoke and she made her corrections and did what she needed to do, it started into a fight. When she got up here, obviously she got her Corvette into the dirt through the people's corner behind Josiah, but nonetheless, a blind run, but that lack of proximity falling into the smoke line like that is super dangerous. We've already seen cars go up into the tires today from losing sight or a mechanical failure or a combination. So kudos to Collette, but now it's her turn to smoke out Josiah that she takes the lead. Here we go in the second half of the battle as Collette now takes the lead. Josiah clicks right to the side of the Corvette. A very confident tandem as Collette tries to fall into outside zone 1 as Josiah keeps the strip alive, starting to match in and falls into formation. Collette doing a good job into outside zone number 2, but Josiah is right on the backside of that Corvette as she rotates and checks off outside 3. Collette doing a great job through the center section here, almost pulling a gap away from Josiah's 14 as both drivers click into outside 4. She's a tad shy but got in there late, and Josiah's really barking at the side, but Collette doing a fantastic job through the people's corner. Josiah's right on the backside. Collette standing on the throttle, making Josiah chase her up into that last outside zone. A tad shy, but a solid lap out of Collette, and a great chase out of Josiah in that FDF S14.
Yeah, great job by these absolute smoke machines. Collette is looking super confident and smooth in the lead position. Josiah Felice will advance. Josiah moves on.
Good job. Alright, I think we both made some mistakes. Our practices were much better than our actual battle. Our practices were way better.
I went off-roading. How does the car look? You were off a little bit and deep into ones, and I went with you in one. And then in the hairpin, it was just way slicker.
So the initiation was slippery. Everything was slippery.
The whole track was slippier for me.
Like the front end was like kind of sliding, and I was like, what is happening with this track?
Like you're sliding the whole time.
What's that?
You were sliding the whole time.
Yeah, the front end was like...
Just the cars sliding.
Yeah.
Being sarcastic.
Sliding left, sliding right.
The Adam humor is the best.
Well,
that was fun.
Then I initiated on you, and my car was 90 degrees, and I was like, I think I'm gonna hit her. Oh, for sure. I think.
Yeah, you want entry? I'm like,
oh, you almost straightened behind you.
Yeah, it was close.
I thought on my peripheral I saw something funky happen.
Your car was drifting normally, and I was 90 degrees sliding, and I don't know how I didn't hit you. Luckily, you kept going.
Yeah.
Because if you did one handbrake check, you would have folded my car in half.
Well, luckily, how did this happen?
It wasn't me. It must have been your off-roading. I gotta say, our practices were
you lost your
definitely
diffuser.
better.
Yeah, good job.
That whole.
Good job.
I thought like one more time for sure. I was like, I know I made mistakes. I don't have anyone I'm talking to, so.
My lead felt really good. That's probably like the best lead that I've done, but going in with you, the track was so slick that I felt like I was just hanging on.
It was different.
Trying to keep up with you and just.
It was different than practicing.
Yeah. Sure. Well, you said that earlier. You're like, between practice, we both got basically like 2 battles in practice. He was nice enough to drive with me, so I'd have a little bit of an idea of what to expect. You're actually the only person I've chased this entire weekend. In practice, that was like 5 hours ago. So the track is like
the sun's
really
heating it up, and a lot of cars have been driving, and it's just slicked up a bit. And I knew it would happen. Like I did anticipate that, but even my front end was kind of like washing a little bit. So.
Well, now you took me out, so you'll win the whole thing.
Yeah. I'll try.
Well, we found the damage from my off-roading experience. I ejectoed my diffuser.
Wait, come look at this.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh. Davis, it's a big hole in the hairpin. That hairpin is deep. Can I get one? You need to get some dirt out there, Chris. So Chelsea
self-inflicted damage. That's some of the most annoying kind.
My wheels are still good.
I'm happy for him. I'm glad that his wheels are great and my car is half destroyed. I'm sorry, Carbon Creations. My bad. So he did the thing. Josiah actually took home the #1 spot. He went out there, swept it all, so I feel a little less bad now for losing to him my first round out there. Overall, even though it was a very frustrating weekend with all the back-to-back issues and limited track time, personally, I feel better than I ever have in the car, and we've learned a lot. We're continuing to shake it down. It is technically still a very fresh build, and it will be all ready for the next event, which is here for the 50K in like 2 weeks. So all in all, I think we dialed in the car a lot more, dialed in myself as the driver of it, and I'm feeling a lot better behind the wheel. I'll see you guys right back here. And we're back. Just kidding, video's not over yet. Chris was awesome enough to let us come back the very next day to do more testing, which I definitely need in this car, and we're going to see if our alternator issue is really fixed, because we may or may not have had Ruby's battery strapped into the rear as a backup, so we made it through competition, the 2 laps, but was it really fixed? We don't know. So we're here and we're about to go find out, and hopefully get just cool footage of my car on track looking cool and smoky, and now that I'm actually driving it a lot better. Hopefully today will just be a nice little shakedown. We will officially know that we're ready for the 50K.
Perfect.
Yes.
Good luck.
Something happened.
My dad was like, "Did you see that one?" And I was like, "No."
Well, at first I just thought it was tire smoke, and then I'm like, I glanced down at the pressure after the lap, and it was lower than usual. So.
Oh, there she goes. There you go. Let her. Is that water though? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She mad. The lap felt a lot better though. He added a lot more shock, and we haven't played really with shock at all weekend. So I was forced to like immediately drive the car a lot harder, a lot more aggressively with more throttle commitment, and it felt good. So that's good. This, maybe not so much. This will be the second time through the pump belt, so hopefully the engine's not too mad.
Davis, I don't know if you want any updates, but I got this car torn apart in Chris Knapp's shop at E-Town. Thank you for letting us use this. I got everything back off, no trans, nothing. All the way to the rear main seal. It's all off. I'm just gonna clean up all this RTV, and I got a new one. I'm gonna slap that in here. And yeah, we might have blown it on like the 6th lap practicing today because Davis was getting a little wild and might have blew the scavenge pump off or the belt off, but we're getting it sorted. Get it all back together.